All right, what we're going to do for this project is we are going to create a turkey story. So first we're going to write a narrative of what a turkey has done so that it doesn't end up on the Thanksgiving table. So you guys get to be the characters of the turkeys, which is really fun and exciting. And you will create this narrative story of, you're going to introduce your character and the problem, and then in the second paragraph you'll talk about your plan and you get to disguise yourself as a turkey. And then the third paragraph is going to be the end. Wrap it up and tell the result or the conclusion of what happened to your turkey, or you as the turkey. It can be first person or third person, you can decide. All right, so the key to this is it needs a lot of work. Get as good things as you can and just do everything that you can. All right, so let's first go over what a narrative is. All right, so a narrative follows these same steps right here. So like I said, in the first paragraph, you're going to have where. You're going to describe the setting. Okay, what are you going to do in the first paragraph?
Describe the setting.
Good, describe the setting. You get to tell where the story takes place. So in this example, they gave this example up here. It says, I stepped outside on the deck and looked up. Something was shimmering in the sky. So this is kind of how they introduce their story. They're talking about where it took place. The next thing, it talks about when. When did this happen? In our turkey narrative, this is going to be before Thanksgiving. You get to decide when that time takes place. So that's the when. In this example on the board, it says during breakfast. Does that tell when?
Yeah.
Sure does. I heard a noise coming from the backyard. I got up to see what it was. I couldn't believe my eyes. There in the middle of our backyard was an airplane. So in this case, it also talks about where, doesn't it? Okay, the other thing it needs to have in the introduction is the action that's going to happen. So I leapt backward onto the deck. An airplane just landed in our backyard, I yelled. So this starts to go, you're talking about what's happening is, for example, it's Thanksgiving next week, and I'm so nervous because I look delicious. I've been eating all summer, and I am just as fat as can be. I look delicious. So you're going to talk about the action that you're going to take. The other thing that the introduction needs to have is you introduce your character. What do?
Introduce your character.
Yes, you introduce your character. So yes, we talk about introducing the character. So you get to introduce the character of the turkey in this case. You get to tell the name of the character, what it likes, what it looks like. You get to tell as much about the character as you want. In this example, it said, Nathan rubbed his eyes. His curly brown hair hung in his face. He hadn't slept well last night. Maybe breakfast will help, he thought as he headed downstairs. Is this talking a lot about our character here?
Yeah.
Sure. Now, in a narrative, you might have more than one character, but you are absolutely going to talk about the main character, which is the turkey. Okay, next, you can leave an interesting comment. So, for example, it was not going to be an ordinary summer day. You're going to try and grab your reader's attention with this interesting comment. I look delicious, and boy, do I not want to be on the kitchen table for Thanksgiving. Something like that. Get their attention with an interesting comment. And then dialogue. Dialogue is what is said in the story. So in this example, it says, how did that get there? And notice that's in quotation marks. So anytime the character is talking or anyone is talking, you have to use quotation marks. What do you have to do if someone's talking?
Add quotation marks.
Yes, add quotation marks. And then do a comma and write who said it. So in this case, they used an awesome word, squeaked. Does that give you some image of how it was said? Yeah, squeaked Sam. And then, it's kind of hard to read past that, but really you're just going to put quotations around anything that is said in the story. All right, do you guys have a really good idea of what we're going to do for the introduction?
Yeah.
Good. Let's look at this next slide. This is on the back of the paper that you guys have been passed out. So you'll look at the top This is a narrative. All right? These 3 sections right here means we're talking about paragraphs. So this is paragraph 1. That P with 2 lines means paragraph. So I would go ahead and write this on your paper. Write paragraph 1. I'll write it in red so you can see it a little better.
Cookies.
Okay? Kind of. And then this one is paragraph 2. And down here we have paragraph 3. All right, so how many paragraphs does your paper have to have?
3.
3. And this is what needs to go in those paragraphs. Today we're only going to kind of start writing our introduction. But all of those things that we just talked about in the previous slide need to be in the introduction. Got it? Okay. Yes, what's your question?
Can we do more than 3 paragraphs?
You can do more than 3 paragraphs. Your question?
What if we have multiple main characters?
That's fine. Just make sure that they fit into the right paragraphs. Okay? Yes?
The E's for?
The E's. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about those, all right? So in this first paragraph, it's going to have everything that we just mentioned. And I'll put that back on the screen if you want. And for those who are watching this tutorial, you can just go back to that front part if you need help with it. All right, so in this first paragraph, it's going to be your beginning. It's your beginning paragraph. You're going to introduce your character and the problem. Now, question was asked, what are all these E's for? Do you guys remember we were talking about evidence and explanations and elaborate and give examples? These are all E's that you should have. And it should be about 4 E's to every paragraph, 4 to 5. All right, you really remember the E's are where it's really exciting. So think about that too for E's. It's where you make your paper exciting. Has all of the exciting information where you stop and give as much information as you can. So you'll get 5 E's. Again, those are explaining, giving evidence, elaborating, giving examples, and you're just making it exciting with those, right? Okay, don't start yet. Let's go over the directions first. In the second paragraph, you're going to talk about your plan so that you can survive Thanksgiving. Okay, and the plan is you are going to create some kind of disguise for your turkey. I've seen some Santa Clauses, I've seen grass, I've seen people jumping into an astronaut suit, I've seen penguins, that the turkey's dressing up as penguins, or Eskimos. I've seen so many fun things. I've even seen a Donald Trump even. So different faces. You get to do whatever you want. I've seen pool tables. I've seen peacocks. I've seen ballerinas. I've seen all kinds of different characters that you get to disguise your turkey as. So write the plan and get as much detail with all of these E's as you can to share what the disguise is going to be and how your turkey is going to survive Thanksgiving. Question?
Has someone ever put their plan to disguise as you?
No, that would be interesting, huh? Okay, all right, let's go ahead and keep going, and then I will answer questions. All right, so that will be your second paragraph, is talking about your disguise and your plan to survive, right? Okay, the third paragraph is your conclusion paragraph. This is where you talk about the result. Did your plan work? Were you successful? Did you end up on the moon? Did you end up in the Bahamas? Whatever. I had one that their disguise was a UPS package, and they mailed themselves to a tropical island. And their end result was that they lived in peace in the Bahamas. So anyway, you get to decide. Again, you need 4 to 5 E's to explain and give as much detail as possible. Okay, so a minimum of 5, 10, 15 sentences. Now remember, after every paragraph, you're going to press enter and create a whole new paragraph that way. Also remember, when you're finished writing, that you're going to need to edit your paper. That means read over it, even a few times, to make sure that you get,
Wait, is it time for me to go?
yes, so that you can get as much excitement into this. Okay, and you want to make sure that it's spelled correctly, so you'll check for spelling. And eventually, when we type this, we'll type this in Utah Compose, so we can type it up and we'll hang it in the hall next to the turkey that you get to decorate. And you'll decorate your turkey at home. Okay.